All right, yeah, right. Let's move on to episode 2. So, tell me...
T1.
Yeah, T1. Tell me what route you moved onto after Crimp Crisis.
Yep.
What time is the alarm set for?
12:30. I came back late yesterday, okay, at 3 a.m. But these days I'm trying to get in a different time zone because in spring you go to the crack quite late and you can have goals on your project at like, I don't know, 8 p.m. or something. So I need to get myself in a different time zone, you know.
Margot is the best place to live on earth. I love it so much. It's a very cute village.
Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
Yeah, it's like a rustic village, Catalan village, I would say. And you can also actually go climbing by foot from my house, which is super nice.
Okay, Sunday. What are we gonna focus on today? I need to do fingers. And I will also not overdo it. Yesterday was supposed to be my rest day, but I did a competition. And I actually won a competition yesterday.
To recap, you drove to Barcelona, won a competition, DJ'd until late, drove home, got home at 3 a.m. Now it's the next morning and you're about to go to Oliana.
Yes. No, first I'm about to go training and then I will go to Oliana.
You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
The crag was crowded this year. At some point it got a bit hard also to climb on your own project because there were so many people. But at the same time it's nice to see other people climbing on your projects because you can learn from them and you can discover new betas. We had the usual suspects, so Dan, Jorg, Arnau.
How are conditions today?
Yeah, I think the wall is really warm now.
Yeah.
Nico, Will, Tonio, Bobby, and then we had people also who come here just for the season but for a shorter time, like Tom, Rags, we had Tina, we had Emily and Colette, Stefano who came as well to try Fight or Flight. Sophie also came back for a bit this year, it was super nice to have her.
Wearing a down jacket. I'm short.
Look at these contrasting outfits.
Patrick, of course, Patrick is one of the most important.
En revanche, Patrick, c'est quoi ces chaussons? Du coup, c'est pas des chaussons troués. Non mais ce qui est impressionnant, c'est que là, tu ne grimpes pas avec des chaussons troués.
Ouais, mais j'ai l'impression que c'est un peu grand.
Allez, est-ce que tu peux juste déjà te présenter, nous dire qui tu es?
Je m'appelle Patrick et j'ai 40 ans d'escalade. Ouais, j'ai commencé à 14 ans et je grimpe essentiellement en arrière. J'aime bien bouger aussi, faire des petits week-ends avec les amis et j'aime bien venir à Oliana.
Yes.
Ben ouais, en premier, avant de venir ici, j'appelle Will en général pour qu'il me réserve une bonne place sur le parking, vu que c'est le gardien de la falaise.
So tell me about Patrick, what kind of person and climber he is.
I think Patrick has become my biggest inspiration in climbing. He's not a pro climber or anything, but he's defying all the laws for climbing because he can climb up to 7 days in a row without resting. He doesn't train.
Ben moi je m'entraîne en grimpant uniquement, quoi, en mettant des grosses séances, en essayant d'aller au bout de l'effort et même d'en faire un petit peu plus après, quoi. Disons que la dernière, souvent, il faut se dire que c'était l'avant-dernière montée, quoi. Et la dernière, c'est celle qui te détruit les bras et qui te fait progresser.
After Kryptonite, Crimp Crisis, the logical step was T1 because it shares the same start and it's also a trilogy of 3 8B pluses. So it's Crimp Crisis, Kryptonite, T1 and China Crisis. And I had already climbed China Crisis I think 2 years ago. So now that I had done Kryptonite, Crimp Crisis, I was like, I still cannot climb on my project because of the knee, so why not try T1? And I really liked it right away as well. I found the move super cool, so I just decided to climb on it. And I climbed on it with Patrick, who was there at the same time because he had just sent also Kryptonite, so we both decided that it would be a cool next step. T1 is more or less the same climbing style as Kryptonite Crimp Crisis. It's very vertical on crimps, a bit longer moves, I guess.
Bon, mais ce que j'aime bien, c'est le style de grimpe qui me correspond, on va dire à peu près, parce que c'est des voies un peu longues. Il n'y a pas de bloc extrême. Du coup, c'est plutôt dans la résie ou dans la durée de l'effort.
I think we went up at the same time for the first time on it. It was the same day we both decided to try it so we could share betas. He did not want to use my heel hook beta, weirdly. I do kind of a ninja kick. I throw my heel into a hold, so I get a heel hook and I even get a heel toe catch after. It's a cool beta. I don't think many people will do it. It's a bit risky, but at the same time, if it works, I know that yeah, I can do the route after. It's beautiful climbing. I really loved it, and I love trying to find the betas with Patrick. I was supposed to go back to France at some point for work. And in my head, I really wanted to send this route before having to go back to France to be able to take a bit of a mental break in France. And I was pissed because I got super close, but I couldn't do it. And the last day I went there before going to France, and it was not good conditions. So I was complaining because the friction was not good, it was humid. So I went to the crag alone. I didn't know who was gonna be there, but I asked Tonio and he said, yeah, you can tag along with my friend and me, no worries, we will belay you. And it was really cool that day because we had 1 go, 2 goes, it didn't work. And then we were like, we cannot have 3 goes on our project, it just doesn't work. And then we thought about Patrick, and I was like, he would have gone for it, for sure. He would have gone for a 3rd go, even if it's getting dark, even if the conditions are not good, even if he feels super tired, he would just go for it and, you know, suck it up. And Christophe decided, okay, I will go for a 3rd go.
J'étais un peu fatigué, j'avais pas trop la motive, hein. J'y vais.
And he actually sent his project.
Il a ouvert la voie.
Il a ouvert le, comme on dit, le sand train.
And I was like, okay, I need to just do the same, you know. I felt really inspired by his scent, and I decided to go for the 3rd go. I think I disconnected a bit in my head. I released the pressure a lot. That's why I like Patrick's approach, because I think he doesn't think about the outcome, he just thinks about climbing, and it can be your 1st go or your 5th go. Like, just focus on climbing and maybe it will work.
Je veux profiter à fond de... Et c'est peut-être un peu dommage de dire ça, mais la croix ou la réussite, c'est pas l'objectif premier au final. L'objectif premier, c'est vraiment de se faire plaisir sur le caillou, de mettre un gros effort sur tous les moves et de rien lâcher, quoi.
And I had that mindset at that time, and it worked so well because I cruised the route actually. And for me, like, I really owe this scent to Patrick.
Bon, Pat, comment tu te sens? Et pourtant, c'est que le 2e jour.
Et oui, mais je suis plus fatigué le 2e que le 5e.
Ah oui, c'est ça en fait le secret.
Pas d'inquiétude.
Pas d'inquiétude. Le 2e jour, c'est la fatigue, mais après le 5e jour, on est en pleine forme.
C'est vraiment le plaisir de grimper, même si je tombe 10 fois dans la voie. Et bien, entre les stops, j'essaye de faire de mon mieux et ça me fait plaisir. Du coup, c'est suffisant pour moi.
For me, it's super motivating to see other people try hard on their own projects. I learn from everybody, and not only strong climbers. I learn from everybody on their own projects, and it can be 6B or, I don't know, 7B or 8C or 9B. I think you can always learn something from other people trying hard on their projects, and that's what's really interesting about climbing and the climbing community, because you can share all this, and yeah, at some point you will remember what that person said, and you will be like, ah yeah, it's actually really useful. Let me tell you the story about how Patrick sent. He sent, I think it was only maybe his 4th day on, like climbing, which is not too much for him because he can go up to 7 days in a row climbing and just never resting. But still, it was half raining, it was getting dark, and it was extremely humid. The route was still a bit wet, I think. At the main rest, the jug was wet. And yeah, he sent that day, obviously.
Je trouve qu'ici, il y a un bon mélange entre les gens très forts et puis les gens qui font ce qu'ils peuvent dans leur niveau. Et c'est ça aussi c'est ce que j'apprécie aussi à Oliana, quoi. C'est agréable de pouvoir partager avec les meilleurs grimpeurs du monde et pouvoir grimper à côté d'eux, quoi, c'est clair.
I definitely felt more confident after I sent these 2 routes because I could feel that I was getting in a good shape, and also climbing on these routes helped me gaining a bit more confidence with my knee. It was rehab actually to climb on these routes, especially with the heel hook move. So I felt much better after, and I felt that I was finally ready, you know, to get back to proper training and then try hard on American also.
Allez, with everything.